Hello everyone and welcome back to the Common Sense Crypto channel. As with you always, this is Rich doing another video today on XRP. So I hope you're all having a wonderful day today wherever you are in this great world. We're gonna talk about XRP. And once again, this is the one-day chart. We're sitting here at $3.14. Earlier today, XRP actually dipped just below $3. And now a lot of people are saying that XRP is going to dip even lower before the blast off happens. I'll talk more about that in a minute. And look at Bitcoin sitting at 118K. And for the most part, we are still following Bitcoin. The charts look very similar for XRP and Bitcoin right now. And if you look at the Bitcoin dominance, it's starting to drop once again. I see people saying this was the last push up before it starts to really break down. And Bitcoin has one more run up in it. Where that run up ends up, I still think it's going to struggle to get above 130K. I see some people saying it's not going to make it to 150K. We got to wait and see what happens. It would be great if Bitcoin went that high because it would pull the rest of the market up with it. And we would start to head into alt season. Crypto breakout watch. $3.25 surge could ignite XRP's run to $5.50. So they're showing two different scenarios here. One shows XRP dipping down below $3, coming down to around $2.80 before we start to move back up. The second one shows that as well. The dip and then the blast off. I would expect that to happen. Usually XRP has a dip and then all of a sudden the reversal begins and it starts to move very fast upward. So that could very well play out. Either way I look at it, this dip is nothing to be concerned about. Everything is still on track for XRP as well. I see people saying alt season was canceled. Oh, that was the top for XRP. It's all nonsense. XRP is going to have a fantastic run. And alt season hasn't even got here yet. We are still waiting for that to happen. Breaking. Expert says this XRP fall is just a coffee break. Like I said, right now, XRP is taking a break before the next move up. And the next move up is going to be a new all-time high. A lot of people, somewhere between $4 and $5. Other people are saying it could go above $5.50 before the next pullback. Then the next move up, which will be even higher. We got to see how it plays out. I'm waiting for some of these catalysts to drop for XRP as well, because that could get XRP moving, and then maybe XRP ends up leading us into alt season. Here we go again. Tether just minted 2 billion USDT out of thin air to prop up the price of Bitcoin. And that's why people are all of a sudden bullish on Bitcoin again, because Tether is minting again. Once Tether mints that Tether, right away, that goes into Bitcoin. Then the price of Bitcoin stabilizes or it starts its next move higher. But we see it every time the market dips. This is not sustainable. This is not real value. Ripple co-founder dumps XRP at the top. A wallet linked to Chris Larsen moved 50 million XRP valued at $175 million to exchanges as soon as XRP neared local highs. Now the crypto community is accusing him of dumping on retail. Is this what triggered the latest XRP dip? And I looked at this as FUD as soon as I seen it. Some people are saying it's not FUD, it's actually true, but they don't know if he sold, that he just moved the XRP. Other people are saying it's a massive FUD campaign right now because the price of XRP dipped? We really don't know. There's no solid evidence whether he sold or not. Until that happens, it's all speculation. And FUD always followed XRP. In that video yesterday, I said the Bitcoin maxis were always afraid of XRP. So Ripple dev, people were paid 5 Bitcoin to FUD Xrp. Matt Hamilton reveals that in Bitcoin talks early days, users were offered 5 Bitcoin to call XRP a scam and centralized. That's how the anti-XRP narrative was manufactured. Fake FUD, real damage. And people were getting paid in Bitcoin as well. I wonder if any of them actually held on to it until it reached very high price points. But they always had to create FUD around XRP because they seen it as direct competition for Bitcoin. And it is, because Bitcoin was the beta test coin. XRP is the real deal. Bitcoin cannot scale. That's what it comes down to. It's never going to be adopted for payments at all. And once it becomes irrelevant, the only thing that's going to keep it relevant is if you can transact in it across something like the XRP ledger. I'm still expecting BlackRock at some point to announce that they're going to start tokenizing Bitcoin. That day will eventually come. Billionaire Mike Novogratz says Ethereum has a chance to outperform Bitcoin in coming months. So now they're looking at Ethereum possibly outperforming Bitcoin in this run. And you know what's great about that? XRP is already outperforming both Bitcoin and Ethereum so far in this run. And again, they're talking about the possibility of Bitcoin reaching $150,000. I think it's going to be a massive struggle for Bitcoin to hit that price point. I think you're going to see a lot of sell-off happening. There's a lot of people already selling off their Bitcoin, older bag holders that have been holding ever since back in the early days of Bitcoin. And I think they're selling because the narrative around Bitcoin changed. You know, now it was always anti-government, replace the US dollar with Bitcoin. Now, all of a sudden, today's Bitcoin maxis are embracing the government. And I think the OGs just had enough, and they figured it's time to cash out big. Just in, the SEC will evaluate the Rex Osprey Spot XRP ETF on July 25th. This isn't about futures. It's direct XRP buying by major players. If it gets the green light, it could be a game changer for XRP's trajectory. And I agree with that, but I don't expect this to get approved on that day. Most likely, they will have to say that they have to look deeper into this XRP ETF. It's like anytime you're expecting something big to happen or the next catalyst to happen, it always seems to get delayed. I expect the same thing to happen here. And, whenever they put a date on something, nothing ever happens on that day, it seems. XRP salty boys mad when I say if you don't have enough stacked, you're finished. This comes from King Valex, and I have to talk about this. Take a listen to this clip.
To your financial structure. And I will tell you right here, right now, that if you have not stacked your XRP, your XLM, and your HBAR, you are about to get left in the fucking dust. And why do I know this? Because I'm tied to the financial systems, the actual private central banking systems going forward. This was our tasking. This was our job. We've been at this program for decades, not a couple of months, not a couple of years. It's been in the works for decades. Let that number sink in. Decades.
I agree with that. Ripple's been at it for a decade. But this guy is the same guy who told you you need to be holding 10,000 XRP. King Valex pushes you needing to be holding 50,000 XRP. And I think they're both totally wrong. I think if you're holding 1,000 XRP, if you're willing to hold it long enough, it will be enough. You know, most people in the next, say next year even, you're lucky if they're going to be able to afford 100 XRP. Think about that. Most people are going to be priced out within the next 12 months. Utility is coming. Institutional adoption is coming. The ETFs are coming. The case is ending. Everything is lining up perfectly for this cryptocurrency. Don't stress how much XRP you're holding. These people are already rich. They don't even understand who they're talking to. They don't understand their audience. Most people are working class people. They're working 9-to-5 jobs, trying to make ends meet. And every time they get a little bit of money, they buy a little bit more XRP. And that's why I said you have to have a good game plan, because this way you could get passive income and keep reinvesting maybe 10 or 20% of that passive income back into crypto. Eventually, you will build yourself financial freedom. And if you're holding 1,000 XRP, there's a very good chance in this run that 1,000 XRP could be worth $50,000. I see so many people calling for a $50 XRP now. Who knows? Maybe we hit the higher price points that the real moon boys are calling for. $100 plus for XRP. All of a sudden, now your 1,000 XRP is worth $100,000. And you know, in crypto, it's easy to keep 10xing something. You know, everybody's always like, I need to find that next 1,000x, or I need to find that next 100x. But when you have money, it's easier to keep 10xing that money. You take 10,000, you 10x it to 100,000. You 10x that 100,000 into 1 million, and so on. That's how rich people continue to get rich. But it's going to start with passive income and life-changing money in crypto. I don't want you stressing about how much you're holding. Buy whatever you can afford. If you own XRP, you're already ahead of a lot of people. You know, most people don't even know what the hell XRP is. Talk to anyone outside of crypto. They have no clue what you're talking about. Right away, most of them, when you mention crypto, right away they're like, oh, are you talking about Bitcoin? Maybe once in a while you get that one Ethereum guy who knows what Ethereum is. But 99% of people have no idea what XRP is. And Jake Claver even says here, data from the XRP Rich List confirms to join the top 10% of XRP holders worldwide, one needs only 2,435 tokens. Think about that. There is going to come a time in the very near future where acquiring 100 tokens is going to be very hard to do. And it's going to continue to go up in price. Be happy you got here when you did, because there's going to be people jumping into this space buying a piece of one XRP. It's going on right now with Bitcoin. It's going to happen with XRP as well. And like I said at the beginning of this video, right now, XRP is sitting at $3.13, $3.15 now. But there's a chance we do go down and touch the $2.80 price point before we blast off. Or we just start to blast off from here. All it takes is one catalyst for this cryptocurrency, and it's go time. And if you want to make it to the finish line, you got to stay patient, stay positive, and let's get rich together. With that said, I'm going to wrap up this video. I want to thank you all for watching. I appreciate all of you. I'll see you in the next one. Have a great night.